That would be wonderful.
Oh yeah, gotta love it whenever instead of too few options, you have all the options.
Indeed. Then, you know, all they need is a flute, and then you can, oh, never mind. Just 50 rupees. Oh,
Hey, you get one of your gloves.
I'll take one out of two.
Yep, Power Gloves and Sanctuary, and we see AaronDobbe immediately going there after just checking Link's house. So, with 50 rupees in the house, is Xirtanul... I am guessing Xirtanul may be going straight off for the Houlihan room, it looks like.
That is what it looks like. Setting that up.
Suppose when we get the Power Glove in the first chest of Sanctuary, it's not too terrible. It's, what, maybe a minute, 15, minute 30, depending on how quick you are with it, as long as you don't mess it up. And that's you, I believe it's 225 rupees.
Yeah, and that's not nothing to shake a stick at this early in the race.
Yep. Although in this case, it looks like he's going to settle for 215. Interesting.
Gonna go straight and buy bombs, it looks like.
I really haven't seen the start before, to be honest with you. I understand, you know, getting the Power Gloves right off the bat is a rarity, but...
And Aaron with the more standard route heading up into the Lumberjacks. I didn't see exactly what it was.
It was like literally the bottom pixel of the item. I could not tell, but apparently Aaron had enough idea what it was and moved on. So we already see Dobbe in the forest, whereas Xirtanul is now heading south to the dam. It's an interesting route, I will say that.
And in chat, they're saying it's his usual route, so that's must have served him well so far to make it to the semifinal.
Yep. You know, Kakariko is really dense and rich in items. But if, for whatever reason, like it sometimes does, comes up with nothing, then Xirtanul's strategy here certainly does give him that slight edge. But at some point, you'll have to check it anyway. So, definitely curious to see how this plays out early game.
And he will find here the mirror.
Oh.
That's a good find.
That is a quality find indeed. Not immediately useful, but it is helpful.
It's one of those quality life items you definitely like early. It helps with the escape, or even going into Eastern Palace. Just being able to mirror out helps so much.
Oh yeah. And so far we see Dobbe hasn't really found much of value inside of Kakariko. Has to go and buy bombs after checking, you know, just one or two spots, so maybe Xirtanul does have the slight advantage doing this rather what most people would see as odd route.
Indeed, and Xirtanul having a little bit of issues with the... Oh no! It explodes.
Mini Moldorm, 3 hearts, bombs only, he gets strolled.
We have the bug net on Aaron's side.
Yep, bug net, bombs, few rupees, not much else yet, but maybe the well or Blind's Hut will come up with something. This is interesting. Instead of going back to finish it up, Xirtanul abandons and instead goes to the back sanctuary. There's the boots from Dobbe. Early boots.
There they go.
And an ether medallion. Meanwhile, Xirtanul just got a lot of rupees from the back of Escape. But,
Yeah, finding a lot of money for the troubles in the back of the sanctuary.
Yep.
Looks like Xirtanul now going to be heading over towards the village. Maybe up through the forest first.
Yep, definitely taking a slightly shorter route because you're not checking the Lumberjack Cave. Oh, there's the book on Dobby's side. And a nice fat amount of rupees.
Yeah, lots of rupees early on.
Oh yeah. I have to say, with the 2 starts, it definitely favors Dobby at this point. The boots really trim down on the overworld travel, so long as you use them properly.
Yes, the boots are very nice to have. Xirtanul would be very, very happy to find them very shortly down here in the village.
Oh yeah, and Dobby getting an early game fetch quest in the shovel. And Dobby also dumping... Oh, that's right, he had the bomb upgrade, so has a nice healthy amount of bombs now.
Yes, lots of bombs. We'll be able to just route all the way down to the dam through the shovel spot even.
Yep. Plus with the boots, can check the library and pick it up if it's something useful. Usually... green rupee.
Not quite useful tonight.
Nah. Arguably the most useless.
I really like this play with the boots just going straight in and checking the race game.
Oh yeah. In open mode, I mean, there's a slim chance it's useful, but this, with the boots available, takes about as much time to check the item because you can just back off about this point here. And it's more money, and goes for it.
Enough money to grab this early.
Oh yeah. I believe it's... I don't remember the exact total off the top of my head, but it's like 810 rupees, I think, barring buying bombs and potions.
Right,
so,
right
healthy
about.
amount.
Now Xirtanul will be finding the boots here, right in the back of the well.
Yep.
And both racers will be able to go fast.
Yeah, I love this early dig check right here. It's just more bombs. I'm almost hoping we see a seed where they're forced to use bombs and nothing else for the next 25 minutes or so.
Oh, that's a little mean.
But
But
there's nothing more enjoyable than, you know, going up to Hera and having to hit all those switches with bombs.
to find your first sword in the big chest. That's the worst. We have the bug net on Xirtanul's side now.
Yep. Dobby is unlocking his mirror, and we'll be heading back inside for, I believe it was 3 bombs in this chest. It was either 3 bombs or 300 rupees, one of those.
Now Aaron, grabbing the mirror, will head over to the mini Moldorm cave. We might see what's in there this time.
Yep. And Flaffykins is kind of telling me I keep saying Dobby instead of Dobby, I believe is how it's supposed to be pronounced. Dobby. So let's see if Dobby has a little bit better luck here in the cave. Once you clear out one side, it gets a little less hectic. So, not quite there.
Well, a little trolled by the Moldorms, but gets through there nice and easy.
Yeah, whenever you go into Mini Moldorm Cave with over 20 bombs, you can just kind of chuck them out a bit. That is a healthy cave right there.
Wow.
With a bottle.
A small heart, or a small heart piece, and the bottle. Opens up the zip kid. Back
3 containers.
Now Aaron's heading over to the Ice Shroud Cave.
Yep, and with boots, it's a real quick travel. And it's a nice check because in the 1 and however many chances it doesn't have an item that's useful, if you put it off, it can hurt. So, and more bomb capacity.
And Xirtanul buying some more bombs before heading, it looks like, over to Eastern Palace. Charlotte's house, at least.
Yep, meanwhile, it looks like Dobby is headed over to, well, I was going to say the back of Escape, but probably the Bonk Rocks first. Let's see what these two runners find. The Moon Pearl and Bonk Rocks.
And just some stuff in the back of Sahasrara's house. One heart container will be happy to find this early.
Yep, and we are now one item away from Dark World access. Whether it's the hammer or the Titan's mitts, either one will unlock the Dark World for these two runners.
Yes, we are getting very close to the Dark World.
Where would you like to see the next major item? Inside Eastern Palace? Or perhaps at Zora? Agena, maybe?
I like to find things in Eastern. Let's say in the right-hand map chest of Eastern Palace.
Okay. It looks like Aaron's going to give Escape a try with only bombs. Given he's headed in this direction, it should be ooh, that's a nice tree pole right there.
Definitely. Very nice tree pole. Just a 5-bomb upgrade from the uncle.
And that's very rich seed now.
It's more money.
I think it's safe to say that these two runners are swimming in rupees at this point.
Now Aaron heading into the escape with just bombs for weapons.
Yep, Xirtanul made a very clean skeleton room there to get the big key. So let's see if he tries sequence breaking the east side of Eastern Palace without having a lantern and no sword or any way to identify where he is. Looks like he's going to go for it.
Yeah, the dark rooms are not that hard in Eastern, even without a sword, because of the anti-fairies, I think.
Oh yeah, it's just very easy to lose track of where on the screen you are if you slip up just a little bit. But Xirtanul, that's where he's using the boot dash animation there, or the sprites, to clue in where he is.
That definitely will let you know where you're at.
Running around the bomb.
Taking a little damage, but taking out that green guard. Just for the map so far.
Yep, but whenever you have 8 hearts going into escape with only bombs, it's still a relatively safe play.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Though, getting a little bit low there. But thankfully the pots will help take out the ball and chain guard. And Xirtanul's Eastern Palace dive turned out a bust.
That can happen. Let's see what we have down here hiding behind the ball and chain guard.
Xirtanul's probably headed back to Mini Moldorn. An interesting note is that they can do all of Desert minus Land Molus itself. So goods could be hiding out there.
They definitely could be.
No, escape is a bit of a bust. More health.
Lots of health early on.
Xirtanul is just having issues with Mini Moldorn Cave this go around. Just trolled by the troll dorms.
They get their name for a reason.
Well,
even the mini versions can have full trolls, but getting all the health back right now, we'll be happy to see you.
Yep. Oh, there was a Sank Heart too in there.
Didn't notice that earlier. And what does the sick kid have?
Oh, the flute, Death Mountain,
might have been
and
contagious.
Terra. this means that they could potentially be forced to go into Hera for an item with only bombs. Isn't that fantastic?
When the logic leads you to Hera with only bombs, you're either thinking that you're doing it very, very well, or something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. There's no in between there.
I would have to agree. And Aaron is being smart and going and buying more bombs, considering where the game is leading him.
I definitely would be too.
And he's buying more bombs.
I got all of the money, might as well.
Now I can't blame him. 26. Yeah, that'll get you through it.
That should be enough to get you through at least 1 or 2 fights.
Blue Boomerang won the lead. So, I do like this play of Desert before Death Mountain. And despite not having the flute, Zert is right behind Aaron here, going into Desert.
Yes, without the Moon Pearl, it makes sense, I think, at least for Xirtanul, to come back over towards Desert as opposed to fake flippering up to Zora without being able to get into the waterfall cave. It takes a lot of the allure away from that fake flipper play.
We see Aaron spamming that R button to try to slip through before getting it. The only use of the R button in the game, those little sand traps.
Yep, no text means no boxes to dismiss, so no use for Ellenhar in the randomizer.
Yeah, interesting that we're seeing a lot of health. We are almost 17 minutes in. We have 11 containers on Xirtanul's side and 10 on AaronDobbe's side.
That's just good for them without having swords or any real weapons, so they can at least use the bombs for damage.
There's the big key. Ooh, nice full magic decanter there. Got nothing to use it with, but
just the compass in the far right chest.
Yep. So we'll be seeing whether or not Lanmolis holds the final item. Which, if it does, then that means Desert is a strikeout for now.
Alright, the big chest for Aaron is the hammer. Hey, we have a weapon. 17 minutes and 51 seconds.
We have Dark World access as well.
Oh yeah, the double whammy.
Xirtanul still needs to check the Bonk Rocks west of Sanctuary for the Moon Pearl, but Aaron can now enter the Dark World from 3 locations.
Putting that mirror to use and fluting away immediately.
Can't decide where he wants to go. Looks like Hyper Cave is first on the list.
And Xirtanul going to head over to the escape.
Yep, and here we're seeing how the early game routing, coupled with the unfortunate death of Mini Moldhorn Cave, is kind of creating a gap early on already.
We have green pin at Thieves Town and red pin at Swamp.
And 5 at Skullwoods has... Yeah, that's right. So Skullwoods and Hera are crystals 5 and 6. So technically speaking, we are a fire rod away from being able to see both of those dungeons cleared at this point.
Yes, we could have something there at the Pyramid Ferry.
Yep, there is a good chance of that. Silver's the Thief Fox. Hey, look, some more health.
Some more bombs, some more health, some more money. Aaron just going to save and quit out of there. Xirtanul going to have a little bit easier time running through the escape sequence with the hammer.
Most definitely. It's a lot quicker than as we saw the bombs. It should save Xirtanul almost a minute, I would think, doing the escape with hammer. Because some bombs did end up getting wasted, what have you. And there's the trolling by the dead rocks and the falling rocks.
The true most trolly part of the game is this screen, I think.
Yeah, it definitely has the potential to just every rock falling right where you want to be. Between having, to cancel dashes, getting hit. It's always fun when it trolls you.
And just a couple of red rupees there on the rock and in the rock.
Yep. And what's interesting to see is, will Aaron risk going into Hera first, or head over to the eastern side and check, the wide amount of items there, hoping for something?
But I wouldn't be surprised to see him go into Hera right away. But it's a gamble. It might be fire locked.
Yep, and we see arrow capacity at the ether tablet, so we won't be seeing that again on Aaron's side.
And now we're going to have Xirtanul getting his Dark World access right now.
Yep, he'll definitely be happy to see that. Though no flute. Oh, there's some blue mail to increase, the safety of the seed even more.
Yes, if you didn't have any trouble already, now here's some blue mail. Make it just a little easier.
And I imagine Xirtanul will also check Sick Kid. Is not checking Sick Kid.
Oh, it's gonna run right by Sick Kid. Go back.
Relatively close, yeah. So we get to see some Village Outcast stuff, but
with the mirror, he can still check the Sick Kid in Village of Outcasts too.
Very true.
Just a quick one transition.
They definitely have an interesting menu layout right now.
Because I am a little surprised Aaron didn't get the boomerang, or Xirtanul for that matter, just for the ease of access through the menu.
Sometimes getting an item can save you time.
And Xirtanul dropping straight into Skullwoods.
Yep, let's see if it pays out the seed or not. Usually it has something, but with how open things are at the moment, it may not have much.
And over on Aaron's side, we have the key, the small key, will be at Moldorm. So there will be an item in the basement locked behind fire.
Ooh, that is always fun because you never know what it could be. It's always amusing when the lamp is locked in the Hera basement.
It's always fun when one fire source is locked behind the other. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Xirtanul really hasn't found anything of value yet in Skull Woods, and
one red rupee so far.
Yep, only has one more item location to check, and yeah, he's going to go check it.
But Aaron does get the crystal from Tower of Hera, so that will be... No,
Yep,
excuse me. That'll be great for him.
Yep, our first crystal, 23.5 minutes in.
No sword, but one crystal. Why not?
Oh yeah.
Certainly getting trolled a little by those Gibdos.
Oh yeah, they're definitely a fun little enemy. Their movement is pretty predictable, but even then, they like to be extremely inconvenient. Strike.
AaronDobbe getting to run through the spiral cave. Much nicer with boots than having to walk through.
Most definitely. Or bomb capacity. I think they've found all but one 5-bomb upgrade at this point.
They've certainly found a lot of them.
Well, Aaron's opting to take the bottom path since the mirror can delete blocks. Very smart move there.
Saves some time. The mirror and the hook shot can shoot through the blocks or make them disappear with little glitches.
Yep. Won't be seeing Bumper Cave again on Xirtanul's side because it is absolutely nothing of use.
I like this North Dark World route that Xirtanul's taking here.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to be thorough before heading into the village and committing in that direction.
I hate this graveyard ledge because I never know when to route it in.
Yeah, it can be a tricky spot. Oh, magic powder for Aaron over there in the Moldhorn Cave.
Another fetch quest.
Yep, and I imagine Xirtanul will be checking King's Tomb next. So we're seeing somewhat predictable overworld clearing from these two, or at least pathing at the moment. Aaron's probably going to head right back into Dark World. Oh, first sword in King's Tomb.
That is a very nice find for Xirtanul.
Most definitely, because if Aaron commits to heading south and does not take the route Xirtanul just took once in the Dark World, we're getting an early pedestal check. We're getting a very early pedestal check.
Oh, get your pedestal hypes in chat, everybody.
And nope, just couch cash.
Just some couch cash. No need to come back here either.
The ice rod, it looked like there on Xirtanul's side in Outcast. No, the fire rod, according to our tracker. The fire rod. So there's the fire rod that allows fully clearing crystals 5 and 6.
Oh no, it was ice rod.
It was ice? Okay.
Now Xirtanul jumping straight into Thieves Town. Having the hammer can full clear all the chests, even if it is a pendant. Go ahead and... The first 4 chests are a very quick check regardless. But still,
yep.
it doesn't take too long to go through. Green pendant gives it an extra item also.
Yep, and if Xirtanul does decide to fully commit to clearing it, having the sword makes the fight a lot easier than the hammer. Blind is definitely a fight where I would rather use every other damaging item except the hammer.
Yeah, the hammer blind fight's not a lot of fun.
No, it is the worst amount of fun. Another sword in Thieves Town, so even if Aaron goes there before checking out King's Tomb, guaranteed a sword, and there's a small key. So the front of Thieves Town does hold a bit of value.
Yes, the Master Sword's always fun to see, and even if Aaron finds it first, the Fighter Sword, you always want to find swords.
Oh yeah, it guarantees that if Aaron just checks the 4, he'll come away with the sword, and if he commits, like Xirtanul is, well, Blind will be a relatively easy scripted fight.
Yes. It doesn't really matter which sword you have, Blind always taking 9 hits to kill. So, with the swords, you can do it completely on script, not even having to really worry about any RNG. So it's a nice fight.
I will agree with you there. Aaron finishes clearing Skull Woods, at least as much as he can do for the moment. So let's see which direction Aaron goes in next. Either south or east. Looks like it'll be south back to the village.
And with that second bottle for Xirtanul, hopefully he'll remember to go back to that sick kid soon.
He'll probably do it.
After leaving Thieves Town.
Yep. I would expect him to do so, especially since he did find that second bottle. He was in the general area whenever he was clearing out the houses. Just kind of surprised he hadn't checked it then.
AaronDobbe just running through the village outcasts, clearing out all the buildings.
There's 3 bombs. I missed whether the room up top was an item or not. It looks like the room up top was an item. Yep.
There's the Titan's bit for AaronDobbe.
Oh, wow. Okay, Xirtanul did not head to the south side then. He only did the C-shaped house. Wow.
That would make sense. And here
So
comes the blind fight.
Yep. My optometrist said I have perfect vision. Interesting that Aaron is not hammer dashing.
I was just thinking that. Nice clean blind fight for Xirtanul. Gets that compass.
Hammer pegs come up empty with the 20 rupee. And Aaron is...
Go ahead and
check magic bat. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, there's the mirror.
Right in front of the house.
He's going to be happy to get that flute. And Aaron is checking what the bat has. Hey, look at that. Some more health. Piece of health.
I'm sensing a theme.
And Tyre is saying that you cannot hammer dash without having a sword. I did not realize that. Even now I learn new things about the randomizer in the game.
And now AaronDobbe heading into Thieves Town also.
Yep, so Aaron will have his first sword about 33 minutes into the run. He'll be happy to see that, I'm sure.
Now Xirtanul will be getting the Titansmiths. We'll be very happy to see those also.
Yep. What's really interesting is, besides the flippers, they pretty much have all the items that allow them to check pretty much the entire overworld and have access, at least to accessing the dungeons. That is a funny bunny sprite there.
Yeah, the squid from Splatoon.
Yep.
It's pretty great.
So routing, I think, will play a rather large part in this, given that they have access to just about everything now.
Just 20 rupees there in the digging game, but only 5 digs to get it, so no real waste. Now we're taking the blacksmith home.
Yep, looks like it'll be a blacksmith trip home with a quick overlay of hammer pegs.
With the sword, making it easy.
Yep, there's that hammer dash. That'll save Xirtanul a couple of seconds over Aaron in that section.
Blacksmith happy to be home. Will be rewarding us with hopefully something good. Well, hey, turn your 10 rupees into 300. Now going to pick up the purple chest, and we're going to see the purple chest heading on a little world tour.
Yep, Xert is definitely fully committing to the overworld checks.
And being very efficient in the overall checking also. But I suppose at this stage in the tournament, you're expecting a very efficient routing. And the red boomerang
passes up on the other boomerang as well. See, does Aaron realize he has all of the items out of Thieves Town, or does he head to the big chest?
He knows and is heading straight to the blind fight.
Yep, and Xirtanul picked up the Cane of Burna from Stumpy. And people are still talking about how I mispronounced Tyr's name. Tyr. And are talking about how it should be pronounced still to this time.
And Aaron with another... That's all the hits. Blind goes down. Nice clean fight on that side also.
Yep, and Xirtanul finds his silvers in the thief.
So that gives both runners a green pendant. Got a mystery item hiding behind that.
Yep, and there is the chest, and it continues its journey.
Looks like we'll be seeing it get dropped off, and then probably the Bombos tablet check right after. And the hook shot.
Wow, that is some quality purple chest there. Hook shot.
That will be required. I don't think either of these runners can hover.
Yep, even though Swamp is a pendant.
Need it there after Mold Worm 2. Whoa! Vanilla Bombos.
Almost a Bombos. Fantastic.
And we don't know if that's required yet or not. But it could be. AaronDobbe gonna get his money.
Yeah, gotta love doing anything dark. Curious what the old man holds.
We will find out very quickly.
Chad is saying Aaron managed to skip Ice Rod and is now walking away from it.
Oh no. Well, that's not good.
Not at all. That is a location that, is right next to Thieves Town.
That's never something you want to see.
No, because whenever you miss something like that, you generally just straight up forget about it. And so when it comes time later in the race, with it being required for T-Rock only, it's going to be a matter of where's the Ice Rod, and it'll be checking every location but that one. Nah, Aaron did the dig game. But Aaron gets... Yep.
Getting the cane of Saku there. Meanwhile, Xirtanul being a little disappointed by the Paradox Cave. Only will find the powder.
Ice Rod was located inside the C-shaped house. And there's the hook shot for Aaron, and the powder for Xirtanul.
Now Aaron will be getting the Vanilla Bombos also.
Yep, and we'll be able to just confirm here whenever he does the menu. Yep, there is no ice rod. That is definitely going to hurt.
Oh, and he can't get the Bombos because he only has the fighter's sword also. But he knows it's the... And he's going to flute straight to Meyer. Get the knowledge, see if Bombos is required down here.
That would be interesting, finding Bombos at Bombos and then needing it for Meyer, because it's right there.
And it is Bombos.
Almost hookshot. They still don't have the cane, but the most recent amount of items have kind of pointed in that direction.
And Xirtanul over on Dark Death Mountain sees the piece of heart on the floating island. Now I'm going to go over and check Turtle Rock.
Yep. Curious to see if it's 2 dungeons, 1 medallion, or was that Quake?
It looked like Quake.
Quake for Turtle Rock, so there will be a 3rd medallion somewhere required then. So let's see where Aaron heads to next. Please remember you forgot that item, Aaron. Remember...
Aaron getting trolled by dead rocks on Death Mountain.
Yep. Xirtanul is now up to 14 containers with blue mail.
41 minutes in and 14 hearts. Seems good. And we're bringing the old man home over on the right-hand side.
Yep, and Xirtanul is going to pick up an arrow capacity upgrade here at Ether. I love Aaron dashing with the old man. You move faster if you're just walking.
All right, now Aaron going to hook shot across and then head over to Dark Death Mountain also. And Xirtanul's going to do the Spike Cave. So now we'll see what is at the end of this long tunnel of pain.
Yep, nice timing there. Use as little magic as possible. Oh! Canis Samara. Misery Mire is now available.
Yes, it is. That's another huge find for Xirtanul. And right away, flute to 6. Aaron sees that it's another medallion that he doesn't have.
Yep. And unfortunately, not finding that ice may or will come back to bite, especially if progression ends up locked in there. So, Meyer with 2 items. What are you hoping to see if Xirtanul goes in there?
Let's see. Let's give him the bow. Bow in the big chest. Why not? Realistically, it's more probably a fire source, though.
Yep. That's right. Without that fire, Meyer best play, especially where there are other options open. But we'll have to see. It looks like Xert was just going for a health refill.
Certainly going to go check out Tower of Hair now.
Gotta love the spin speed or the hook glitch whenever you can't quite line up with the ladder that you're trying to go up, and you just keep bouncing back and forth.
Just running around.
Yeah. Here we have a pyramid check from Aaron.
Be happy to see another red potion. Some more safety.
Yep, smart Q. This is definitely a safe seed. Xirtanul is already at 15 containers. Picks up a blue mail with Vivi. The hat turns purple. That's great.
That is pretty good.
And Xirtanul also will not have a fire source, so we'll have to leave the basement behind.
On to the climb.
Yeah, Master Sword, Hammer, Hook Shot, Boots. This will be a quick,
Aaron.
clear Vera.
With the fire rod at the green pendant. Oh, wow.
It's a very good thing both runners decided to clear Thieves' Town then.
That... There's some fire source for progression. Oh man, if only Xirtanul had turned that in before going to Tower of Hera.
Yep, if only, but that means that either we'll never see the basement, or whenever it comes down to item hunting, we will see it. That does mean, though, at least for Xirtanul, that Mire is fully open and clearable so long as you're willing to risk a dark room.
Yes, the logic won't ever make you do dark rooms, but I wouldn't be surprised if either of these runners could do them without any issues. Oh, and there's the Master Sword for AaronDobbe.
Very nice. So we know where 3 swords are at now. That's right, Dobie. You can't go anywhere. You need the bow.
Yes. Realizing bow locked here.
Yeah, it's kind of rare whenever that first chest isn't a small key, but when it is, dungeon slams its doors shut on your face.
Please come back with a ranged weapon. Aaron's heading straight back to go get Bombos now that he's got the Master Sword, I would assume.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. So, I mean, everything on Aaron's side, nah, that's right, you can't go that way. No flippers. Everything on Aaron's side, with the exception of the Ice Rod, has been pretty great routing, I would think.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate they're missing out on the Sea House. Going back through into Village of Outcasts the way he did, as opposed to checking out the Bumper Cave from the other side.
Yep. And even if Aaron is aware that he missed the house, it may be a little bit until he heads back that direction.
Yeah,
although with the Fire Rod, Skull Woods is right there.
Knowing that it's knowing that it is a spot, he might not necessarily get back there soon, but since it's the Ice Rod, it won't hurt him, and as long as he remembers to go back before heading up the mountain.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, is that he remembers, oh, I didn't check it, let me put it next time I'm in the area. But as expected, Aaron's heading straight to Skull Woods, and Xirtanul is pretty much right behind him with the same play.
Yes. Having the Fire Rod, go kill Mothula.
So are you hoping to see the second item in the back, or the boss key, or the big key with the second item inside?
Oh, that's just mean. Let's just put it in that chest. It's not on Mothula, it'll be in the chest you gotta walk around to after you kill the boss. Or before. I like to do it after, just in case the item is at Mothula anyway.
Yep. What I love is whenever, you know, there's one item left, it's in the back. People decide, let's go do Moth first. You know, they have the fire rod and everything. And in that little chest there, Aaron just passed by, is half magic after they've done Moth. It looks like Aaron feels pretty confident in using the sword-only strats, given how much magic they've used right there.
And Xirtanul as well.
Gets a nice little bonus drop.
And we're going to have dueling Mothula fights.
Yep, they will most definitely both be fighting at the same time. Oh, a little cat. That's great. Out. Nope, fire rod, okay. For a moment there, I thought Aaron was going to be trying to pull off some hammer strats there with Moth. Not the easiest thing to do, but it does go by quickly if you can do it right.
That's what Xirtanul is doing. Hammer Mothula.
Yep. Aaron gets Moth down. Interesting using the spins with that moving floor. Spin slashes and dodging everything and not losing your charge on the spikes at the same time. Yeah, I'd pass.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah. And there we go. Xirtanul gets Mothula down.
Either player having trouble with the Moth fight.
Yep. There's the big key. Just got to see what's in this chest down here. Aaron taking the safer way there. Ah, there's the item, piece of heart.
Another piece of heart.
Oh yeah.
But that is now crystals 5 and 6 for both runners. So we can see the super bomb.
Yep, let's see. Looks like Aaron is making that play. He has indeed forgotten about C-Shape House. Dang, dang, dang. That is unfortunate for Aaron because that could or is going to be the deciding factor with how close these two have been.
Yes, it very, very well probably will be.
Interesting split here. Xirtanul is deciding I don't need a lamp. I have the fire rod now. Let's go to Meyer. Whereas Aaron is sticking to logic a bit closer.
I mean, the lamp could still be in Meyer now with the fire rod. It could be locked behind the fire rod. That would be mean.
Most definitely. It's just there's only 2 items inside of there. And there's still a fair bit of the seed to check. But we'll be seeing Pyramid Fairy here shortly. That is a very unfortunate place for the tentacle monster there to go to right into the I-beam thing.
Yeah, the Popo spoiling what was otherwise a really nice second Meyer room there for Xirtanul.
Yeah, sword beams can really make that room clean. No,
it's just garbage.
Yep, it's a red herring. Whole lot of nothing. Small key on the bridge. Heading back to here. I have a feeling Aaron is about to head east in the Dark World.
Oh,
there's
hey,
the bow and mire.
There's the bow and mire.
So I guess pod's open now.
Oh, he's going back into Village of Outcasts? Come on.
Nah, he forgot all about it. He's heading east. That's going to really sting him, especially if he loses this match over it.
All right. Xirtanul lighting up some torches for a map.
Aaron dealing with some murder birds.
Now he knows what the dungeon looks like. Alright, now AaronDobbe gonna get what, a blue rupee out of this graveyard ledge? Totally worth.
Something like that, yeah. The real value is in King's Tomb, where Aaron will be getting tempered.
Definitely. The tempered sword upgrade from Master Sword is the biggest and best upgrade from one weapon to another in the entire game.
Definitely the biggest time save.
And there it is.
Yep, and some people are discussing go mode items already. Considering we're approaching an hour in, I believe it's a fair game. We're missing not all that much, actually, from both runners at this point.
Xirtanul technically needs Quake, and the logic says the flippers and the lamp, but he probably doesn't need the flippers or the lamp.
Very true. They have silvers, so there's really no need to worry about magic on the 4th phase of Ganon. So there's Quake and Bow and Mire. Xirtanul at this point could just clear everything in go mode, so long as he feels comfortable with Master Sword Ganon. He has the health, he has the tunic, definitely has the arrow count.
And he'll get the tempered sword for free in pod, since it's a crystal and it's the first chest.
Yep. And you gotta go big key hunting in pod, so you're not gonna pass that one up.
Now Aaron heading to the basement of Hera, going through these tiles.
Curious to see what the basement holds. Wonder if the lamp is here. And on Xirtanul's side, we get to see Dark Mire, or in this case, we really don't get to see too much of it, because it's in the dark.
We'll get to hear it.
Yeah. I think this is perhaps one of the most, if not the most difficult series of dark rooms to do in any of the dungeons here in the game.
This room with all those lasers is definitely very hard.
Just a little bit of health in Hera basement. I'll admit, in Xirtanul's situation, I would probably cheese it, throw on the blue cane to get past the spikes, and then, yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't blame you. Now AaronDobbe's about to get the red cane here out of the spike cave.
Yep, and that will most likely point Aaron to Mire as well.
That would be my thoughts.
Ooh, barely.
Putting all that health to good use.
Oh yeah. Whenever you're holding that block up, you're actually invincible. But the moment you throw it, you're still guaranteed to take one hit of damage.
And no problems for those Mire Dark rooms for Xirtanul. Makes quick work of them and on to the Vitreous fight.
Which you'll make quick work of with the silvers. You'll take an eyeball to the face, but this is... I think Vitreous has the hardest difficulty swing depending upon your items.
Yes, it can be very, very trivial like that, or it can be just insanely difficult.
Yeah. There's nothing more enjoyable than when a seed forces you to Fighter Sword Vitreous.
Fighter Sword Vitreous and Fighter Sword Cold Stare are the two just worst things in the world.
Yep. Luckily, Cold Stare guarantees the use of the hammer and most times the fire rod. So, and Xirtanul Looks like he's going to backdoor into desert. And we're probably going to see nothing but a series of rapid dungeon clears here from Xirtanul at this point.
Yep.
Aaron, not so fortunate.
In full go mode at this point.
Yep, so long as he knows how to fake flipper, which is pretty much guaranteed at this level of tourney.
Definitely.
So I'm kind of curious to see what Aaron does since he missed the ice rod, how he approaches the seed post Meyer.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to see him head back over to pod, or at least after desert. I would assume desert would be the same thing.
Yeah, I would assume a desert play followed by probably pod. I doubt he'd go back into Eastern for the one item off of Armos. Actually, did Aaron even go into Eastern? I don't think he ever went that way.
I don't think he has either.
There we go. We see almost a 2-cycle land molus. There we go, a 3-cycle land molus. By a certain.
That is the 4th crystal for Xirtanul.
Yep. So I am going to guess either Pod or Ice Palace next. Given the knowledge he has in the item selection, Turtle Rock will be the 7th dungeon he would enter. It looks like Ice Palace. So definitely one of the quicker version 27 seeds that can be churned out.
Yes, definitely. Being able to skip the flippers and the lamp helps a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm kind of curious if Xirtanul's early game routing had matched that of Aaron's. Just how much more time would have been saved.
Yeah, just that one death in the mini Moldorm cave could have saved at least another couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was unconventional routing, but it's playing out in the long run for him, so. Thaddeus, 3 swords so far. One was King's Tomb, another was inside of Thieves' Town, and the third that we know of was the first chest inside of Palace of Darkness. So I imagine Xirtanul won't stop for any chests at this point. Maybe he'll look around for Tempered, but
I can see maybe the 2 Freezor room there above the big key chest, or the big chest rather. I could see stopping there and taking those 2 guys out for the quick check, but outside of that, I don't see him checking anything in ice.
Yep. And Aaron is heading toward. No, Aaron got his Quake medallion. What is Aaron doing? Aaron. Oh, okay. He's taking this way to the.
He doesn't have a small key,
Bosky
so
door.
he has to go this way.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Meyer's a fun thing. It's like if you have a small key, you can head in this direction. If you used them all, well, you still have this option.
Nice bomb jump there from Xirtanul.
Oh yeah, and it's more impressive whenever people pull off bomb jumps without using the Link sprite or one that is the same height, because most people use the top of the hat or the head to time it rather than the shadow.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to pull it off with non-standard sprites. I've only managed it once or twice. I have to race with Link just for that reason. Nope, not going to check that chest. Just straight on to Cold Stare.
Yep, and in chat we have someone who thinks the sequence break will start the game, But at this point in time, Xirtanul has everything required. And unfortunately, Aaron missed the ice rod in the C-shaped house in the Village of Outcasts, which means he, rather than being in go mode via sequence breaks, Aaron will continue to search for the ice rod at this point.
Aaron also in these dark rooms in Mire, making nice easy work of the first two.
Yep, Xirtanul using Bombos to save some magic for the fire rod shots. Always love seeing how, how long can you keep Cold Stare in there? There's 2 of the puffs. Nope, just 1. There's 2 and 3.
I have a small key for your efforts. And this crystal. That's a little more valuable.
Yep. So I'm also thinking Xirtanul has not checked the Pyramid Ferry. Xirtanul did check Eastern. Besides that, I believe the routes have been mostly the same in terms of what ground has been covered.
Yeah, pretty much. They both check most of the same spots.
So now it is going to be a matter of where the big key is in Pod. He'll be getting his Tempered Sword, which pretty much puts the game on, I won't quite say easy mode, but with 15 containers, blue mail, tempered, and silvers, it definitely won't be too difficult.
No, definitely not. Aaron
heading
to Pod.
Yep. It would be interesting if Lamp is in Pod. But Lamp may not show up.
I know Aaron had Lamp in Pod in his last tournament race. It was in the turtle room right before the dark rooms in the back half of the dungeon.
Yep. Curious to see what Aaron turns up in his search for the big key and the small key. For Xirtanul, I mean, because there is Tempered. And Aaron is pretty much going to be following right behind him at this point.
Pretty much. One room behind in the dungeon.
And I see chats discussing, dark rooms and such. But the only tricky one in Pod that I would consider difficult is mitigated by the fact they have the fire rod. So they can light up the lantern inside of the mini Helma room leading into Helmasaur once they get there.
Oh yes, that will help out a little.
That room without lamp or fire rod is an interesting experience, to say the least. Just small keys on the right side.
And another small key. 3 out of the 6 that are in this dungeon.
Yeah, we see Aaron heading for the back while Xert is checking the big key. And this one, Pod generally likes to front load its small keys to ensure you have access to the entire dungeon. And Xirtanul comes up with another small key to show that.
And another small key for AaronDobbe.
And another small key for Xirtanul. That right there is the remainder of the small keys for the seed. All 6 of them.
All of 6 of the pod keys.
Oh, big key is in there, yeah. And interesting that Aaron lit it up. That room is relatively easy to navigate in the dark. Of course, this is where things will diverge a little bit. Aaron will be doing the dark maze, whereas Xirtanul will be popping the mirror or heading south here shortly once he finds that big key in the dark.
Yep, we'll just be able to mirror out and head straight to the Helmasaur King.
Indeed. And that also means the lamp is not inside of Palace of Darkness. So perhaps at Catfish, we have never seen Zora. Well, Aaron pulls the lamp out of the dark. And the other item from Aaron is the compass in the dark.
Not a whole lot of fun in the maze today.
Nope. And at this point in time, this is where we can concisely say that this is Xirtanul's race to lose. And just a 20 in the big chest. Yep, for any of you just now joining us, Xirtanul here is in Go mode thanks to fake flippers into Ice Palace. And unfortunately, Aaron would be in Go mode, but missed an item location, and the way he's been playing definitely shows that he has forgotten that he did not check it.
Yes, and it's just so unfortunate to have that come down to one missed check.
Yeah, otherwise these two runners would be quite close.
Yeah, the lantern could be up at Zora in the waterfall, any of the flipper locations. Neither player checked any of that overworld yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking, no, neither player has the flippers. And that's right, he go moded ice, so I don't know if anything of value is locked behind the flippers. But at this point in time, flippers seem most likely to have been at Zora or Catfish. Either that or Armos, perhaps. But there aren't very many locations that it could be at this point.
Yeah, the flippers could still be in T-Rock also.
Yes, all items were accessible and not fire-locked, so... A little bit of menuing difficulties there. And nails of silver. That is crystal number 6 for Xirtanul, who will most likely be, or most definitely will be heading up to Death Mountain next. Turtle Rock into Ganon's Tower.
And Aaron with the turtle room here, lighting it up.
Oh yeah, they get nice and grouped by the time he found his way over to it, so fantastic. And look at that bomb capacity, 45.
That's a lot of bombs.
That's enough bombs to bomb every chest left in the game, just about.
Just about.
And this time it's Xirtanul's turn to get trolled by Death Mountain, between the dead rocks and falling rocks.
Cabbages and squirrels, just ruining your day.
How inconsiderate of them, right?
They're just the worst.
Yep, in chat, they're talking about how Aaron is now pretty much a full dungeon behind. That is pretty much entirely due to missing Ice Rod. The extra checks are just adding more and more time.
Yeah. Having to check places, all of the dungeons, he's going to have to look and find all of the items, looking for the ice rod.
Yep, and heading to desert. So that's right, Aaron is actually 2 full dungeons behind at this point, or a dungeon and a half, really, considering he has cleared the front of desert. So this is the nature of Rando, unfortunately. You miss one spot where you're looking for one item, and this occurs.
Yes, indeed. And the ice rod is the worst item to have to be going to look for.
Yep. By the nature of logic, the ice rod can be literally in any chest in the game.
Yep. Anywhere outside of Trinex himself.
Yep. And since it's required for Ganon's tower there, but pretty much has no restrictions.
So using the burn-a-dash there.
I love it whenever runners do that. It just looks so swag.
It is pretty great. Finding a mushroom. We won't find out what that is until the credits, but
We won't find out until Aaron turns it in.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, I don't. At this point in time, I think it is fair to say that Aaron will take a very long time to remember that.
Yeah, I would assume heading into T-Rock without the ice rod after he gets done with Ice Palace before going into Eastern.
Correct. That would be my guess as well. So, but Xirtanul's on pace for what looks to be roughly a hour 30 seed. It's no hour 5 minutes, but it's still pretty respectable for this version.
Yeah, for this version of the randomizer, it's a great time. Great pace so far.
Doesn't manage to avoid the cat. That is fantastic.
Now Aaron's gonna full clear Ice Palace.
Yep. Curious to see what all it's hiding. It's good for the viewers in the sense of, hey, you gotta see what's where. But Aaron, the nails are in the coffin. So we've seen skill-wise, both of these players are at about on par with how they've handled all the difficulties and such of the game. But it's just that one spot.
Yeah, but sometimes that's what it comes down to. It's just unfortunate.
Interesting that Xirtanul checked the big... Oh, there we go. There's the lantern. It's in an ice palace. Which means the flippers are going to be probably in Turtle Rock, would be my guess.
That mushroom is going to turn into those flippers.
That would be a very good bet right there. We will not be seeing Laser Bridge from Xirtanul, though. Gets the platform down, but still falls. That is interesting.
I've seen that happen. It's you just try and move down just a little too quickly for the game, and it just fall down the hole.
Yep. That was a pretty solid dark room right there.
Definitely. And with the key, doesn't even have to go down onto the laser bridge, straight to Trinex here.
Yep. Putting that extended range of the sword to use, although going to get beaten up a bit there. Not too terribly so. Aaron puts the hook shot to use through the fire bar.
Xirtanul putting down the block before picking up the full magic to make sure he's got all the magic he could possibly need for this Trinex fight.
Yep. Aaron, with the multiple penguin room, uses the hook shot to kill the top and then spin slashes the rest. I've seen people use Spin Slash for the entire thing. The double bomb, low percent strat is always fun to see. And a quick, clean phase 1.
And an easy try next phase 2.
Oh yeah, that was a very clean phase 1 and 2 for having tempered.
And so, with Trinex going down, that means one thing. We have a game we like to play here at Speed Gaming. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower. One of them has the big key in it. Get your guesses into chat after we get the game started up here, and pick where you think it will be.
Where do you think it'll be, Clifford?
Channel? I always guess Bob chest.
I'm gonna go with Tile Room. I've seen a few of those lately. That's fun. A little bit quicker kill on Aaron with Cold Stare having tempered available. Didn't even use the fire rod, it looks like.
And now Xirtanul into Ganon's Tower.
Oh yeah. At a nice 121. Oh wow. The small key, big key dream of Ganon's Tower. It does not get any better than that.
That is the 1-2 punch. Shout out to the OK guy.
So that is number 2, folks. So barring a disaster, we will see a sub 130 finish from Xirtanul. Meanwhile, Aaron fake flippers up to the waterfall cave. I'm kind of curious what Aaron will be thinking once he sees Xirtanul's dot done here in about 10 minutes or so. At that point, you gotta know you missed something.
We will surely find out.
I do like Xirtanul dropping off the edge there and then using the invincibility to just finish dashing through the rest of it. There's half magic on the ledge.
And what does King Zora have for us today? Another piece of heart. On theme with the rest of the scene.
Yep. Aaron is, I mean not Aaron, but Xirtanul is having a very clean gauntlet here. Moving through, missed the silvers there, but still, that is, wow. That gauntlet was well executed and it cooperated nicely with him too. Almost gets the 1 or 0 cycle. Almost. We're good with 2 cycle land molus 2.
Now into the Wizrobe rooms. Nice, easy one shot there from the Canis Maria.
Yep, and as you predicted, since Aaron forgot where the Ice Sword actually is, he's making the gamble to Turtle Rock first. For those curious, round 2 is not following after. Round 2 will be on Saturday. I believe the same start time.
So it's 12 hours difference.
Okay, it's a 12-hour offset, gotcha. So it'll be middle of the day for America and evening or closer to night for Europe.
Game 2 will actually be Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, Sunday.
And Xirtanul just having to take out one more mini Helmasaur to get that last key.
Yep. He's not wasting any time. Just don't need him. He has plenty of stuff to get him through the rest.
Picking up some fairies there, getting a little bit of health refilled, and the full magic restore also.
Yep. Let's see how Moldorm 2 treats him. There's the slash. And knocked down. Ouch.
True champion of the randomizer tournament, Trolldorm, wins again.
Indeed. Okay, there's the spin. There we go. Nice
Some extra
frustration
slashes, just for good measure. And the red mail. All right.
Wow. Red mail invalidation chest. That is 15 containers, red mail, silver arrows. I mean, can you ask for anything else, really?
I mean, if you're really greedy, you could go for the butter sword, but no, not. You can't really ask for anything more.
This is a nice little setup, as long as he doesn't hit. There you go. Got 2 hits out of that one.
Nice double. I think that was kind of
just the one, I think, for that, unfortunately. Same with that one as well, which would put him at 4.
Nice. Another double. 2-1-1-2. Down goes Aghanim 2.
And the ones were no fault of his own, because hit at the same time with both of them. So Xirtanul is entering Ganon a little bit after an hour 27 in. Aaron is getting to the back half of Turtle Rock here shortly.
And into the Ganon fight.
And that's the first phase right there for him. Just got in an extra hit for good measure. Good time on that hook. Ouch.
Nice and the iframes.
Yep. I don't believe Xirtanul got the red potion from the pyramid, though, so he is going to have a 2 cycle here. But he has his hits in, so now it's just a matter of don't get hit and finish him off. It's somewhat amusing that the second phase of the Ganon fight is the hardest of them all.
It really is.
Ooh. Oh, he has a blue potion, that's right. That was their first bottle. So, he is more than safe at this point.
Yeah, that blue potion was in Thieves Town in the bomb room.
Yeah.
Above Blind's boss fight. Seeing Mimic Cave on Aaron's side.
Yep. We're getting a little bit of a grand world tour at this point.
And
there's the flippers in Mimic Cave.
So we have got the lamp back on logic.
And GG to Xirtanul.
Is the pig down?
Yep. An official SRL time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 2 seconds.
That's a great time for version 27.
And ladies and gentlemen, looks like Xirtanul will be joining us here shortly.
And Aaron running through Turtle Rock now, going to head to the laser bridge. We'll get to see what all's hiding on there.
Yep. The real question being flipper. So maybe butter sword on bridge, perhaps. Maybe a shield.
Not a whole lot more than swords and shields at this point that it could be. Junk, I guess. Hello, GG.
Good morning, and thanks.
It was a fun race. Great work.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at this seed. I mean, I think every single decision I made paid off in the end.
Yeah, you had very good routing. Your opponent...
Definitely.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say your early game routing was a bit interesting, and you had the unfortunate death at Mini Moldorn. But the rest, everything just kind of fell together for you, and your execution helped a fair bit as well. It was a very good race to watch.
Aaron unfortunately forgot the C-shaped house and is still looking for the ice rod.
Oh no. That is not fun. I mean, that is one of those places which you generally check as soon as you enter Village of Outcasts, so I really hope that he remembers it's in there.
So do we.
But I was really happy with my Spike Cave check, though. There's absolutely nothing in there for 99% of the seeds, but this one time I checked it, it's actually at the game.
Yes, it definitely paid off big today.
Yeah, it's very rare whenever you see Spike Cave lead to an item that essentially unlocks Go mode. In case you were curious, the flippers were hiding inside of Mimic Cave, and the lantern was in the first item room inside of Ice Palace.
Okay, well, I was actually wondering about the flippers and the lamp, but at that point I was like, well, I got everything I need after my Maya play, so I was like, well, I don't need that lamp, let's just Go mode everything.
Yes, Meyer had all of the progression today. Two items, and both huge. Also, that green pendant with the fire rod.
Yeah, I was extremely happy when I saw that one because, well, Thief's Town itself only gave us a Master Sword and that was it. So I was like, well, I did this for absolutely nothing, so I just, well, spent a lot of time in there, and then I saw that Fire Rod and Green Pendant while I was on pod, and then I was like, yeah, I got Fire Rod, now let's just go clear Skullwoods, because I can.
Yeah, it was definitely a value. You know, not everybody commits to Thieves' Town whenever it's pendant. And with how this seed sort of opened up in terms of the early Dark World access, your items to check pretty much every location, what with the mirror, the flute, etc. The way it just flowed came together really well.
Yeah, I was surprised at all the items we got early game, and then Mitz being, for some reason, imbombable hot yet again. I think I had that in 4 to 5 races by now.
Yeah, seeing the power gloves right off the start, we were talking, you know, what would we like to see out of the seed? I wanted to see, you know, like early boots and then the rest of the seed troll, or, you know, like the single arrow. Meanwhile, Clifford wanted to see power glove Titan's mitts between Link's house and Sanctuary. You got half of it.
I got half of my call.
Yeah, I quite like finding the power gloves there. But also that hammer in, I think it was Desert, which was kind of in a really awkward position as well, because we had absolutely no weapons at that point.
Yes, there was a lot of running around and doing things with just bombs in the early game.
Yeah. It was amusing that the game almost sent Hera just once.
I do wonder what's in the Hera basement though, because, well, I was entering there, I didn't have a fire source, and I was really, really afraid of Hera basement play at that point.
I will say it's on theme to the rest of the seed. It was a piece of heart.
Yeah, we get a ton of those early game.
How'd you like Mini Moldorn with 3 containers, an armor piece, and then a bottle?
Well, after me dying there, I was like, of course this is in here. Yeah, but I mean, that basically meant we had a ton of safeties already at that point, so I really enjoyed finding all that.
Yeah, we all had a good laugh whenever you pulled red mail out of the validation.
Yes. If you didn't need any more defense here, have some red mail for the Ganon fight.
And in part, I was just hoping to get that, well, the early big key, and then I walked in there and I was like, wait, there's a tempered sword. That's even better than a big key.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we knew it was there because Aaron had gone into pod earlier already at that point. And we were looking at your items and we realized you are pretty much go mode, you know, with the fake flippers and everything. And you were guaranteed a tempered. So the seed was pretty much a general walk in the park.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, anytime you can sub 130 a siege, you're pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm extremely happy with my routing. It's only my early game. I got so annoyed when I died in Mini Moldum Cave because I do that routing every single time, and this is actually the first time I died right there.
It's an unfortunate place to die, but it really doesn't cost you a whole lot just being 30-45 seconds away from a Link's house.
No, that's true. And I mean, I could route it in with the desert check, so all in all, it kind of helped me in the end, I think.
Definitely.
It was definitely an interesting early game strategy, but I can definitely see how it can give you an advantage in the chance, you know, that Kakariko comes up with nothing and you find, you know, value items on that way. Plus, it didn't, by the time you got your checks done, even with that death, you weren't too far behind Aaron.
Yeah, well, the main reason why I have that routing is because there's so many extra things you can do in Kakariko. So, for example, if you find a bottle or a weapon that you can go into escape, so I just try to toss as much in Kakariko Village as possible.
That makes sense. Aaron did the escape with the bombs before going to desert, so your escape was a little bit faster, just being able to run through with the hammer.
Yeah, we had some Benny Hill type stuff going on.
I can completely imagine that.
And then, you know, finding the hook shot there at the purple chest and then straight into the Bombos tablet that was required. Vanilla Bombos.
Yeah, the only thing that was going in my mind at that point was how vanilla this bomb was.
Did you feel that the seed was pointing you towards Meyer after a certain point?
Actually not, but I knew that Bombus was the Meyer medallion, and I just found my cane in Spy Cave, and I was like, well, I know I could do Lampless Meyer, so let's just go for it and clear it. And I was really happy when I found the bow, and I was even happier when I found Quake, because that kind of meant I was in go mode.
And thus you were. Easy 57-minute go mode.
Yeah, it's always a nice feeling, I'm sure. What was it? The back half of Desert, Pod, Ice Palace, Turtle Rock. Half the dungeons, pretty much.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, this time dungeons didn't hold all that many items, except for Meyer, of course, but that's roughly it.
Yep. And it looks like Aaron is headed over to Swamp, unfortunately.
Yeah, like, I think at this point, it's just muscle memory kicking in. Like, I checked everything in Kakariko Village, I checked everything in, well, in Village of Outcasts, because that's just generally what you check at the first time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him if he has the time, once he does finish. What sort of happened there. Somehow he did manage to, unfortunately, forget all about it.
what I think, usually he will go out the other side of Skullwoods, as opposed to going back by the entrance to the Dark World, the warp.
Ah,
And so coming back in, the C-shaped house would be the first thing he would normally check, and I think that might have been what put him off. I don't
so
want to
instead he
speak
did
for him.
Rupee to Thieves Town.
Did he go to the bombable hut before C-shape? Because if he found myths, that might have given him the piece of candy feeling.
He did definitely.
Yeah, he did the Rupee game south to the bombable hut. Immediately went Peg Cave to Thieves Town, I think.
A magic bat, right?
Magic
Yeah,
Bat,
Magic
and
Bat
then
right
maybe
then
Thieves
also?
Town, yeah.
And then went back to Thieves Town, yes.
Yeah, then I think he was like, well, these myths open up so much things, so let's just immediately hand in the blacksmith route, etc. I think that just went wrong right there.
And this is for AaronDobbe, his first loss in the bracket stage. So congratulations for that.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that I'm this far ahead because I watched him run a lot of races and I know he has excellent execution, etc. So I'm really surprised that I'm this far ahead. But then again, if he misses one location, then it's just really rough because I assume we were roughly on the same pace at that point.
He was arguably a smidgen ahead of you. It had helped that he had not stepped foot into Eastern Palace at all, whereas you had. But once you hit that point of the ice rod, he just started bleeding time as he checked more compared to you, pretty much. Would have been difficult to say one way or the other how it would have gone ice rod and Indigo mode, but it definitely would have been a close race, I believe.
I'm looking forward to Sunday now, our second races at that point. So, and I've got a feeling that he will never forget about C-shaped house again, because that's kind of how Rando works. If you forget about one location with an important item, you never ever forget about that location ever again.
Never, ever again.
Very much true.
Gonna see the Argus fight here.
Yep. At this point in time, he doesn't have too much left in the game to check either.
He's pretty much hundoed the game at this point. He will probably be very confused in a minute.
Did he check pedestal as well or no?
He checked pedestal very early.
Yep.
Pedestal was one of the first things he checked, going back up into that part of the world.
He checked pedestal prior to going into the Dark World in Kakariko.
I was actually thinking of that, but then I was like, well, I can always route it in with the Skullwoods, and at the point I had Fire Rod, the only thing that could be on pedestal that I was lacking were flippers. No, wait, I think the bow.
Poor Aaron with the single arrow from Argus. So now he's going to go back in, go left side, and then be confused.
I think that single arrow is the facepalm that the game gave him at that point.
So you've got game 2 coming up here in what, 3 or 4 days on the weekend?
Yes, it's actually Sunday, I think at 2 p.m. for a change, so will be a morning race for him and late, well not late, but like evening-ish race for me.
the way everything was going up until the unfortunate miss of the house. It was very close. So I'm excited for race 2 already.
Yeah, same. Like I said, I've seen him run quite some time, and I know he's a really good runner. So it actually surprised me that he forgot about that one chest.
It's always unfortunate when that happens.
How did you like the 1-2 punch in Ganon's tower?
I actually loved that. I was going in and I was like, wait, this seed has been way too nice to me. I'm expecting a tile room seed, and then I was like, small key, okay, I can go right side, and then big key, and then, wait, this is actually my first, goal mode Ganon Tower in the entire tournament, so why not?
Yep. We were talking about it, and he was like, Bob chest. I was thinking tile room, because we've actually seen a lot of tile room keys, and then we were immediately proven wrong.
Yes, immediately.
I actually quite like the mushroom in T-Rock as well.
That's where I thought the flippers were going to be.
Go ahead, what were you trying to say?
Oh, I said that's where I thought the flippers were going to be, was at the mushroom. But not so much.
Yeah, I actually expected the flippers to be in T-Rock at that point, because, I think I nearly full cleared Overworld and only had dungeons left, and it could only be in Pod and T-Rock at that point. And I've seen it be in Mimic Cave or Pod at least, or T-Rock at least, way too many times.
Yep, the potential spots were definitely narrowed, and then whenever Aaron found the lamp inside of Ice Palace, that kind of narrowed it a bit further.
Yes, that lamp and Ice Palace definitely narrowed down the potential flipper spots to the front half of Turtle Rock.
It looks like Aaron's headed to the Catfish, which is one of the final locations he has left in the game to check.
Catfish and then Think Dorm.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind off the top of my head. No, Aaron did Pyramid Fairy.
At this point in time, I'm actually wondering where that butter sword is, since Aaron pretty much hunted the game and he still hasn't found it.
Ganon's Tower, it looks like, given the fact that only 3 chests of the 28 inside were checked.
Yeah, it's got to be GT at this point.
Aaron's heading up to check Hobo, I think. No?
He's going back into Ice. I think he got 2 items in Ice and then just gambled on Cold Stare earlier.
I'm going to be right back, by the way, just going to grab a morning coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just Hobo, 1 item in Ice, apparently. And,
I'm pretty sure there's still 1 more in Ice for him, because he got the lamp and some bombs.
Yeah. I don't think he ever went to the right side of the floor down. Is what it was, the 3 chests there.
Yes, Ice Rod is required solely for Trinex, the last boss in the game that AaronDobbe has not beaten yet. into the Penn Gator bowling alley. Gets a strike.
Indeed. Yeah,
And he
these
used
3 chests here.
Use that key you got from Cold Stare.
Yeah, plus the big chest as well.
And there, the piece of heart is the next item.
And there's the confusion.
Yes. Now,
And the thinking. Yep, at this point in time, he has checked 7 or tower. He has checked approximately 185 item locations at this point.
right about. Now it's, which one did I mismark on my tracker? So while Aaron is looking around trying to figure out what exactly he missed, be sure to give both these runners a follow. They put on a great show tonight. Late in the evening, early in the morning, wherever you're at. Great randomizer.
Oh, most definitely. And even with Aaron making a mistake, these 2 runners both went from a group of 150 down to brackets, and they're in the final 4. So definitely worth following to watch. Definitely.
Lots of hard work to get here. All right, pulling out the flute.
Technically, actually, that's right. I don't think either runner ever went and checked Agana.
I think Agina only had a 20 rupee or a hard upgrade.
And we're going to see another piece of heart.
Yep. And out comes the menu and thinking.
And now more thinking.
Yeah, I feel real bad for Aaron for missing that one spot. But
I
fortunately, that's why the brackets are best of 3. Because if you, for whatever reason, have a disastrous run, you're not immediately out. You still have the chance to go and try and win 2 more.
Yes, of course. That gives you a chance to come back, and you're not just obliterated by one bad run like this.
And someone in chat asking if we can give a hint. No, we cannot. The moment a runner is given a hint, it is up to them to forfeit from the race due to being spoiled, pretty much. Where is he headed? Back to pod?
It looks
Yeah,
like it.
point, I believe he's just retracing steps at this point, trying to figure out if he missed something somewhere. But unfortunately, he did check everything. He did the dark rooms properly, so his double check of pod will turn up nothing. And he's probably running through it in his head right now, it looks like, considering he's not. Oh, there he goes.
He knows, looking at his menu, that he has the dungeon items.
He was probably thinking about that one chest that.
And unfortunately, that is the dot forfeit in SRL chat in the IRC. AaronDobbe has forfeited from the race.
Yep. Unfortunate, but with Randomizer, if you miss one spot and it holds something important, it's going to cost you. However, despite that, excellent playing from Aaron. His execution was great to see. And we'll see if he would like to come in and talk for a little bit or not. Plus, great credit to him that he kept going and going and going until he fully exhausted everything. I know some people will immediately forfeit once the person finishes, but most runners, including Aaron, keep pushing forward.
Yes, lots of respect and props to Aaron for finishing out as much as he could until he 100%ed the game as far as he knew. And in just a second here, we'll get AaronDobbe in here. Hello, Aaron. GG.
Hey, GG.
Sorry about that ice rod.
Oh man, I hate losing like that.
It's so unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a bit of a heartbreak whenever we realized that you had left Village of Outcasts without the ice rod. And other than that, you and Xirtanul were both neck and neck. It was impossible to tell who really had the lead, to be honest. And amazing props for sticking with it.
Yeah, thanks. I really don't like to give up, but it's like too late at this point for me to have remembered that I was never going to find it. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not making an excuse or anything. I mean, if I hadn't forgot it, it would have been fine, but, bleh. Anyway, GG. I'm not going to make this mistake again.
Usually, you go over and check out the bumper cave after leaving Skullwoods, and then tonight you just went back through the warp area. Was there any reason for that?
I mean, that's exactly the problem.
I'm pretty sure that's what cost you the C-shaped house.
Yeah, it's not that I was tired or anything. I was fine at that time. What I did, I don't usually go to Skullwoods first after hitting the warp. I just did that this time because I felt like it, and I think that's what threw off my usual route and made me think that I had already hit it.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit of a heartbreak, unfortunately, with how you lost this. But you have your next one coming up Sunday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, and you still have a chance to knock back Xirtanul and push it to a game 3.
And the way the first 40 minutes of the race went, it was neck and neck.
Yep. So I mean,
So
that's
I'm
what I'm
looking
gonna have to
forward
do.
to Sunday.
And I will absolutely do my best.
Like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. I've seen you run quite some races, Aaron, and I know you're a really good runner. So that's why I just didn't expect you to miss that She-shaped house.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, it happens sometimes. I tried to make an on-the-fly routing change, and it messed with how I usually process that area, and yeah, I paid the price. Red mail with invalidation chest. I mean,
it was.
okay.
Red mail invalidation and right side Ganon's tower was small key, big key in the first room.
Oh wow. Yeah. So yeah, this was definitely a fast seed. But yeah, I just made a mistake. I mean, congratulations on a fantastic time, Xirtanul. Sub 130 is great.
Yeah, thanks. Like I said, I think if you had that ice roll, we would have had an insanely close race, and that would have been amazing to run like that.
Yep.
Well, all right. You guys have anything else y'all want to say about tonight's seed?
Well, thanks everyone for coming out and sticking around with me as I tried to finish this out. Sorry I couldn't do it. And I hope to put on a better show next time.
I'm already hyped for Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to it.
I do have to say, Aaron, you're a true trooper though for not giving up until you literally exhausted everything. That's earned a lot of respect from you, man.
For sure.
Thanks. That means a lot. Yeah. I know. Again, I hate giving up at the end, and I don't really like to. But yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it.
Well, you guys have a wonderful night and morning and day for you, Xirtanul. Space Cowboy, you have any final thoughts here before we sign off?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, follow these runners. Come around Sunday to watch match 2. And yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks everybody for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your night and or day wherever you are. If you'd like to see more great races like this, follow all 4 Speed Gaming channels. Lots of great racing going on all the time. Thanks again to our tracker, JTB. Thanks to you, Space Cowboy, for co-commentating with me. Thanks to the runners. I've been Clifford, and everyone have a wonderful night.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.